Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westie here, and I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, carbs. Because who doesn't love carbs? Everybody loves carbs. Okay, maybe it's just me. But one of the things when I talk to women a lot about nutrition and really focusing on the right nutrients for your body, carbs get such a bad rap. And so many women feel like they can't eat carbs, or if they eat too many carbs, they're going to gain weight. They have to cut out carbs and do something really restrictive just to get a certain result. Oh, no. Anytime you are told to really restrict for a long period of time, especially with things like carbs, it is really bad for your endocrine system. Your brain runs off of carbs. Your brain needs carbs. Yes, it's just how it works. How the things work. When I talk about nutrition so I just started a podcast because I found that, everybody loves to consume information in different ways. So I am putting information out there in different ways for all the peoples to consume in the different ways. So if you would listen, if you like it, share it, please. I'm trying to condense this info just so people can get as much as possible and make a change for the better in their health. So, I attached a link there that you can, get the, that you can look at the podcast or look at it. People listen to podcasts. Hi, Katie. Anyway, but I do talk about nutrition for hormones. I go over as well estrogen, how to eat for your estrogen, and how important carbs are for this phase of your cycle. So let's dive in. Let's just talk about all this stuff. Estrogen, this is going to be days 1 through 14 about in your cycle. Again, if you have a different cycle or something else, that's okay. I'll get to a point where I really dive in and talk about that. Are you consuming all the Dr. Beth's? Great. But know that that's about day 1 through 14. To eat for estrogen, you're going to want to eat cooling foods that are like chicken, turkey, fish, seasonings with, cooling seasonings, rosemary, thyme, cilantro, things like that. You're going to want to avoid spicy foods as much as possible. You're going to work with that lower basal body temperature. That's going to help estrogen out. And estrogen actually burns carbs. It's a big deal that estrogen burns carbs. So your body goes through different phases. When your body's higher in estrogen about these days, it's going to be doing this. When your body is not in this phase, it's going to want to store more carbs. Yes, it will want to store the carbs. So let's tap into that carb burning advantage that we've got when our bodies are higher in estrogen. And that is going to be going through carb cycling. Carb cycling. If you have ever done a restrictive diet, if you are having trouble seeing a result happen with your body, if you're like, you know what, dang it, I am really trying my darndest with eating clean. I'm eating a salad every day. I am doing all the stuff and nothing is happening. Right? That's my Minnesota accent there came out a little bit. Accent, dialect, who knows the difference? Anybody? But this is going to be something that's going to be fantastic for you to go through. If you're eating stagnant the same every day, that's not doing anything to help push your metabolism forward. Even though it may be good, right? Oh, I'm eating clean. Oh, I'm eating... Maybe that's what this means with my fingers. I'm eating clean. I'm eating healthy. I'm eating paleo. Super duper. But for women, our bodies are not stagnant week to week. They go through changes, right? And I will dive into more what stress does and how stress impacts estrogen and progesterone and all those things differently. But we're going to start with the basics and really hammer it out. I cover a lot of this info in my book, The Female Fat Solution, which you can find on Amazon. And my podcast is called The Female Health Solution because I'm going to be going through so much more content on overall health things for women. But to start with how our bodies work is so important. So going through this carb cycle because you've, done I want to say sort of a dangerous nutrition plan. You've been restrictive. You've followed something that's not super healthy for you before. Ooh, yeah, right? And you're like, yeah, I lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks and I felt like crap, but I looked really good in my swimsuit. Okay, but you sort of trashed your metabolism a little bit, didn't you? Yeah, let's rev that up. Let's get that moving again. What's a good way to do that? Especially when you love bagels, like I do. Carb cycling. Yes. And in doing this during the estrogen phase is going to really tap into that extra carb burning zone. And you don't have to worry as much about your body wanting to store those extra carbs, because that's what progesterone does. That's what the other phase does. When your body's higher in progesterone, it is going to want to take any higher amount of carb and store it if you're not, if your metabolism takes a little bit to get going. That's why I recommend, let's dive into this in the estrogen phase, the carb cycle. What is the carb cycle? How do you go through it? I have a ton of stuff out there on this, but I'm going to dip into it again right now. We're going to talk about so in my podcast also, I go into carb cycling more in detail as well. Carbs, we're talking about breads, pastas, potatoes, quinoa, rice, fruit, that type of thing. I'm not talking about veggies really. The fibrous leafy greens stuff like spinach, it's a leaf. Like, yeah, there's fiber. It's not like a carb. It's not the same as a cupcake. Clearly. That'd be cool if it was. Anyway, but so those are the things that we talk about for carb cycling. But basically, I go through a 5-day carb cycle with a lot of women. Why a 5-day carb cycle? Because if your metabolism is slowed down, it's going to take a little bit more finessing to get it really moving. Why are some of these amounts bigger? Because again, you want to hit an extreme with your body. Especially if you've been stagnant. Our bodies, the female body especially, is designed to downregulate everything. Our bodies want to work as little as possible all the time. That's how it works on being efficient with everything. Great, but that's not so good if you're eating super clean and healthy every day, but the same nutrients day to day. Yes, that's healthy, but again, it's not going to jumpstart your metabolism. It doesn't switch things up. You sort of got to come at it with the 1-2 punch. This is the 1-2 punch. All right, so 5 days, it's enough time to let your body shift and adjust here. So day 1, we're going to do 200 grams, right? These are the carb amounts here. Then we're going to do 150, 150, and then we're going to do 125. Now this is a good even amount to be at. So a lot of times I'll talk about women doing this during the week. You can alter your carbs and alter your nutrition during the week, and then maybe take a break on the weekend and just keep your carbs about 125. That's a good even amount. This works because this is extremely high. This is a lot of carb. You gotta work to get this food in, which is kind of fun, right? Like, when was the last time you really pushed yourself on eating? Take that, pasta! Right? Like, anyway, getting kind of fired up about carbs because I love carbs. But so you're getting more carb in these first couple of days. Your body is going to all of a sudden have to process all of that. So it's like, holy cannoli, I've got so much more nutrient here to process and burn. And it starts to pick up its metabolism. It starts to really realize, holy cannoli. I'm trying not to swear on this. And it's got a lot to burn. All of a sudden, within a couple of days later, you drop that carb amount out and it's like nothing left. And your body's burning at this really high rate here, but you've got really little to no carb at that point. Yes. Tammy, I love carbs, right? I love carbs too. Spot just brought me this. For those of you that have not met my dog Spot. Sometimes when I do, oh, it smells bad. Oh. When I do live videos, he brings me presents. This is his chewed up squirrel. Is this your squirrel? I'm going to leave it right here. Okay. Anyway, he's very excited about it. I'll probably bring it back again. So you drop the carb amount out right here. So your body's burning at a really high rate, but all of a sudden you've got little to no carb there, and your body metabolism is revved up. And then you're evening things out. So again, your body's not, oh, there we are. Hi, puppy. So your body's not getting used to anything too low at a certain point. For some women, if you have done a really restrictive diet in the past, and maybe you're like, oof, I've really wrecked my metabolism, it may take going through that 2-3 times before you're like, ooh, now I see and feel the difference. And if you are doing the math here on this, day 1 through 14, it might take doing this, if you're focused on this during this phase, you do this a couple of times, you might have to do it again the next month, and then you're seeing those shifts and changes and results, right? But this also works best when you're coupling it with protein pacing and getting other clean nutrients in. It's not a tactic I recommend just on its own. with no other healthy follow-up around it. It's something, again, make sure you're doing the right things around it. Then it's going to work the best. Spot's excited too. Is this your carb? Is this your carb, puppy? Squirrel? Your squirrel is the carb? He's so excited. Anyway, so that's what I got for you guys today. Again, focusing on this during the estrogen phase is so, so important. You burn carbs while your body's higher in estrogen and your body's not storing them. It's totally, totally different for women. It's amazing. Oh my God, he's literally trying to climb up on my lap now. He's not a lap dog. He's kind of big. Oh my God. Oh my God, dog. Okay, yes, I see you. Oh my God, you're huge. Okay, okay, thank you, puppy. So, this is what I got for you guys. Please, if you have not listened to the podcast, please do so. If you found this helpful, you can, share this video on Facebook. But for those friends of yours that do not do Facebook or they're looking to listen to stuff in the car, that's why I created the podcast. So give that a listen as well. And Spot would like it too. Won't you, puppy? Ugh. Oh God, that still smells bad. Anyway, let me know if you have any other questions, but I'm going to be going over progesterone and fat burning next. So stay tuned for that, and everybody have a great night.